Good morning, folks. Today we're making jerky, and now we got ourselves some High Mountain jerky cure and seasoning. This is the original blend. There's several different flavors out there: mesquite, barbecue. I think there's some hot stuff, some Cajun, all kinds of different flavors out there. So we're using deer today, and we've deboned most of our meat off the deer and cut them into 1/4-inch strips here, and just throwing them here on the pan. Once we get everything cut up, we'll season it with the seasoning, and in the instructions there's a formula to mix up the cure and the seasoning. And once you do that, you put it on there, one side, flip it over, season the second side, then you throw them into we're just going to use this little Ziploc container here. We're going to throw it in there and add the rest of the seasoning, the extra seasoning that's left in this jar, because we want to get it all in there, and mash it all up together so everything gets a nice good seasoning. Okay, so we got all our meat sliced up here, about 1/4-inch thick. Some of them are a little thicker, yeah, I know, but they'll just take a little longer to smoke, and we're actually going to use the smoker to do this. So we got our seasoning right here. We're just going to sprinkle it on pretty liberally and do every piece here. I missed some over here, but do that, and then we're going to flip everything over. And then do the other sides. Some of these have you'll see some fat. That's okay to keep some. I tried to cut as much of it off as I could get off, so I like to have them a little leaner. So do that, then go ahead and sprinkle it on this other side. Like I said, you want to do it pretty liberally. When you mix this stuff up in the jerky seasoning, it tells you exactly how much to mix for the pound of meat, and there's a difference between the whole meat muscle and ground meat. So if you had ground beef or ground deer or whatever, and you were going to make jerky out of that, it would be a different ratio of seasoning to cure. And so we'll go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll throw it in this pan here. Out of the way. We'll add a little bit, spread this around a little bit, add a little bit more seasoning, cure mixture, and just kind of knead it together, kind of like you're kneading dough, just to make sure it gets on all the sides, the corners, the edges, the main parts of the meat and stuff. So there we go. Alright, so we've got everything cut up, and we got our seasoning and cure mixture on the deer meat here, and you can actually see that it kind of changes the color. It was a bright red when we started, and now it's kind of gotten a more darker, kind of a brownish tint to it. That's natural. So what we do now is basically we just leave them in these containers. We'll cover them, we'll throw them in the refrigerator. They need to sit for 24 hours to cure, at least 24 hours. If you can let them sit longer, it usually makes a little bit better jerky, in my opinion. But we'll pull them out tomorrow, and we'll fire up the smoker and throw them on the smoker, and we'll finish off making some jerky. Okay, so here we are. The deer has been marinating in the cure and seasoning for over 24 hours now, and we're at the smoker here, and we're ready to start the smoking process. Basically what we're going to do is just take the jerky, just lay it flat on there. We'll add some, I'm using hickory. We'll just add some hickory to the firebox there, let it get a good nice rolling smoke. We'll do that for about an hour to an hour and a half. We'll check the temperature. It's got to get above 165 degrees Fahrenheit in order to be safe, and then we'll check it then, and if we need to keep it on longer, we'll do that. If not, we'll pull it off, and I usually like to freeze it, but and we keep some out to eat, and then freeze the rest just to keep it last longer. Okay, so here we are. This is actually the jerky has been on here a couple hours, and you can see it's gotten kind of dark and toughened up a little bit. You can see it's actually breaking apart there, and that piece is good to go. Now a couple of these thicker pieces are not quite done yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off the thinner pieces and let the thicker pieces cook a little bit more. I'm actually going to take them in and do them, turn my oven down real low and finish them off in the oven to keep from over smoking. Sometimes if you over smoke them, you can get kind of off flavors, and they're not as good as they are right now. I've actually tried a piece of the thinner stuff. It's really good. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Once you get the dried out, like I said, you want to double check to make sure you're up to 165, the internal temperature, for them to be safe. Alright, so here's the finished product. I did a temperature check here with my trusty thermometer. Everything is up to 165 degrees or higher, and looks good. Tastes very good too. Some of the thinner pieces are a little bit drier. Some of the thicker pieces are just right. So if you can look there, that looks pretty good. Trying to get in focus here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.